I'm gonna sit here and wait for you guys to join. Hey everyone, welcome to Punish No More, Free to Protect. I'm Francesca Amato. Nonprofit is Punished for Protecting Incorporated, 501c4. And don't forget to get your copy of my best-selling book, Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court. Today's topic, Covert Narcissism. And I am in no way a psychologist or a psychiatrist, although I have done deep research in psychology. This is going to be more on well, I think what we find to be the best experts in life are those that have actually lived through. And you know, when we think of narcissism, God, it's a scary word. And it's not a word that I've wanted to use or point a finger at somebody. And you'll know if you follow me and you watch my lives, I'll always say, please don't go around calling everybody a narcissist, because I find that to be narcissistic. However, when you get to a point where you realize it's narcissism, it's time to start talking about it, isn't it? Now, you can also watch me on YouTube, and I really encourage you guys to go over there and like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a broadcast. And hi everyone, thanks for joining. It's really nice to be with you right now. It is a beautiful blue sky day, as you can see above me. I'm going to be sharing this on the Punish for Protecting News channel and my other profile page, which is the same, Francesca Amato. So hi everyone, I see you guys without my glasses. Sorry, without my glasses, I can't really read it. So I know this might seem weird. I have 20/20 vision. These are for reading, and I do really need them. So the doctor will not give me contacts, which is what I really wanted. Not colored contacts, just regular clear contacts. I am a person who believes in being real. I believe in everything being real, every body part. It's just the way I am, guys. You can to each their own. That's the way I am about things. But I do see you guys joining, and welcome. And this is a topic that I want to talk about. As you know, that I do hit lots of different kinds of topics that, well, cause us to have what feels like punishment in a lot of ways, right? And so we hit these different topics so that we can better ourselves and better life and better our surroundings. I've had numerous conversations with a lot of different people. As you guys know, I have been accused of, I don't think there's anything I haven't been accused of. And it's interesting because when you work inside an organization or a group or with people that are supposedly of a family rights movement or a movement, and we're supposed to be about things that are lawful and things that are that we care about justice, why would an advocate not be allowed to defend herself? And I had to do this research on narcissism, and this covert narcissism is probably one of the worst. You know, it's a scary word because when you do a lot of the research that I've done, and I'm sure many of you have, because I'm sure many of you have experienced this in life in general. Especially if you're a good person and you're an honest person and a truthful person and you are an accountable person and a person of integrity, and when your character is being assaulted by a narcissist, it's actually one of the steps that they in their line of attack. So I'm going to give you some pointers, and I'm going to give you just my opinion today, and I was going to tell you to share and like this video, and invite your friends list, because I really feel like you're going to learn a lot today. As I have been, but I'm in the process of writing a book, and then I'm going to work with the same publishing company that I did my book, Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court, with. And there's probably going to be like a good year before it actually gets published and so on, but the book is Surviving a Narcissist, and you can too. And you can too. First of all, it's being able to acknowledge, and it's been able to detect what this is. And I'm going to put my glasses on because I do see a lot of you writing me right now, and I do want to not miss what you're saying so I can not forget to respond. No, someone is not calling me a narcissist. Well, they may be. They've called me everything else. Apparently I planted bugs in somebody's house now too that I haven't been to in months, but didn't want to go near. This is the latest. I mean, every day it's a new one. It is mind-blowing. Let's talk about paranoid delusion. I've done it all. I've been accused of it all. I'm sure I've been accused of this too, Tanya. I'm sure I have. But I've discovered what this is. And thank you. You said you are decent ethical, and straight up forward. Thank you so much for saying that. If someone is doing this to you, it's called a smear campaign. Ignore it. And that is true. This is actually more of a personal thing. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Julian. How are you? Julian and I, we do have to do a live together soon. I do love you guys. Thank you. I do love you guys too, and thanks for joining. So I've learned some things. Some of the things that I can tell you from firsthand knowledge, and I'm doing this literally out of firsthand knowledge. Of course, I'm going to base everything in Christianity when I do base things. I'm going to base it in my faith. And so one of the things that I've learned is that, like, this type of personality, well, it's wrapped up in a very deep ego. And so let me go back to the word narcissist. I'm being censored again, as you guys can see. It cracks me up. As soon as I start going live, they start kicking me. But anyway, okay, it's not something that I wanted to actually admit, that I had to deal with it, because, when you love people, it's heartbreaking. It's actually heartbreaking. What this comes out of is, it comes out of, like, deep woundedness in childhood, and something that I care deeply about, and I care about the healing of people. But some people, like, they cross a line eventually where they don't want that healing, and they don't want to be a better person. They're just so used to manipulating people and living their life in such a manner, and then covering up what they're doing, then instead of having a natural, healthy relationship with people, where people would embrace them and cover what they're doing and so on and so forth, where they could get the help, that they need and so on, and still continue to love on, they don't do that, these kind of people. And it's very highly abusive. It's very irregular behavior. It is one of the borderline personality disorders. Again, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I've done a lot of research. I've studied psychology. This is firsthand knowledge. I'm just giving you, hey, if you want to call it entertainment purposes, it can be entertaining. But you can survive a narcissist. And it's like that word cancer. Like, it's so scary in a lot of ways, and it is heartbreaking, especially if you love or you're in love or what have you. I've had to do the research because it's helping me in my healing right now. And it's helping me into seeing some of the things that they do. When you're in the public eye, what they do is they literally study your behavior. And I've noticed this with a lot of people who have attacked me throughout the movement, like trolls and things. They study your behavior. So if they find out what you like, what you dislike, so they can warm up to you. Okay. Now, the same thing goes with relationships and so on. And they have a motive and an end goal. Okay. And please, like, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Like, I want to see people healed and happy and whole. And I would prefer to see forgiveness and healing, but I would prefer to see even reconciliation in some places where it could be done, But I want to put this out there because I think this is something that could bring a lot of people healing, and I always care about that long term. So, I'm saying this because okay. So to break down what I've learned myself is that they really can twist and turn things. They can mirror stuff. And we've talked about the mirroring effect or the projection effect. They'll say they would never do anything, and then you're getting 50 million screenshots that they've done exactly what they said they wouldn't do. And as they're telling a person, I would never do such and such, or I'm not talking about so-and-so, and then directly under it, there's one bad thing after another. And these people send me the screenshots. And then what they'll do is, because they study you so well, especially if you're public, or even if you're not public to somebody like myself or something, but you're just public because you're on Facebook, and so they study you and they get involved with you and they want to have a relationship of some sort with you, and whatever the case is and whatever their motives are. And sometimes it could genuinely be true feelings and stuff and emotions, but they can't have that deep intimacy that normal people have in normal relationships. They can't have that. So what they do is they study your circle. And I put this on Facebook earlier today. And they'll study your circle of friends, and they go for the weakest links. So you're really not losing good friends, okay? Because good friends would never leave you. And good friends know your character and your integrity. Okay, this is important to know if you're dealing with a covert narcissist or a narcissist of some sort, or people with like just different types of narcissism. And I do not believe everybody has characteristics of a narcissist. I don't believe that. I do not believe that at all. Absolutely not. I believe that people would even call Jesus a narcissist because he had crowds that would watch him. He talked to people. He had attention on him. There's people that are on YouTube that are viral that are not narcissists, although this is what I mean about the mirroring and how it could look. It could be, the motives of the heart could be good and pure and have the same image as somebody with a narcissistic evil motive, and have the same image, but the image of the person, which you see on the outside, so to speak, doesn't mean necessarily that it's the same thing that's happening within. Does that make sense? So you can't label everybody a narcissist. That's not true. But that's the demonic trick to this narcissism, which is actually Jezebel, which is actually what we come after in the courts and all this other stuff. Rebellion, which is as a sin of witchcraft. Ego to me, I find, is to be, there's healthy ego. And actually, if Jillian Gordon is on right now, she could correct me on some of this or tell me I'm right or wrong in some of this. But from what I see is that, like, ego could be the worst demon out there. Like, it's your natural ego, which is worse than any demon out there. Does that make any sense to anybody? Because the ego is arrogance and pride. And this narcissistic behavior will not ask for forgiveness or acknowledge anything that it's done. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to acknowledge that you've done something you haven't done, because those type of people will force you to admit to doing things you didn't do. And that's wrong too. That's a narcissistic trait too. But some of the things that I've noticed is they project onto you what they're actually doing, and that's how you find out their guilt. They can block you or you block them, and they'll still stalk you, but then they'll say you're stalking them. It's a projection. It's a mirroring. Okay. They're going to watch you. So, like, for example, I'm a Christian, so they're going to pretend they're a Christian. Okay. That's just an example. They're going to love you so much, and then hate you all of a sudden, and you don't know what you did. How can you love somebody and then hate them? Like, you know, and they actually say that if you hate somebody, it's really the closest thing to love. That's in like a hurt relationship. If they did something to you, though, it's if they did something to you. So what they do is they want to take the attention off of themselves and what they've done. So instead of acknowledging what they've done, they project it onto you. And it can be very scary. So this is part of why I want to come out here and talk about this, because I'm a solutions person, and I'm a person of faith. And so there is always a solution to every problem that we have in this world. Like I said, I would still love to see reconciliation in some of this issues, and some of these people I just know better. But what they'll do is they're going to try to pin people against you to join their army, so to speak. And they're going to find your weakest link. So when you lose friends, so to speak, you're not losing friends. Okay, first of all, your actual solid friends, your long-term friends, your long-term family relations, the people that they go to, they're not going to buy this. They may think the person's a nice person, and then they're going to get their number. But because they know you, remember this, because they know you, they're not going to buy what this person is selling. Does that make sense? And then we've seen this throughout the movement, and not just the movement. I'm just talking about families where there's been a case where a mother has come against her daughter, or a father's come against their son, or a father's come against his own daughter and believed, like, let's say, an abuser that's molesting a child, or something like that. So that's narcissism too. That's narcissism too. Are you guys hearing me okay? I just want to make sure you guys hearing me okay. And are you liking this content today? Is this something that you're liking? Okay, so I just want to let you guys know something. I am the kind of person that I'm the kind of person that, like, my heart does break. I'm a very sensitive heart person. I believe in love. I believe in commitment and loyalty and faithfulness and all that good stuff. I believe in very strong morals, and I have strong faith in God. I believe in keeping a short account with people, and you know, if I do have an out with somebody, I try to talk to them. I've had people who are so out to lunch, there's no restaurant. That's my joke. They're so out to lunch, there's not even a restaurant. You know, like, I had a woman screaming and yelling at me for the past 2 days, and she was all for me, and then she talked to the narcissist, actually. It was so creepy, and that's where this weirdness came in. But anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. But people will, but it's a person, again, that I didn't lose. I didn't lose a friendship. I was seeing very unhealthy, very, very unhealthy, creepy things that I don't want any part of. And so as soon as you start to spot in the narcissistic person, or the person with these, and when I say mental issues, I'm not putting down people. Everybody has certain types of emotional, mental issues, but some certain types of mental issues that are a lot of times wrapped up into addictions and so on, maybe in their own past abuses and so on and so forth. I'm always going to be there, the person that's going to want to help, a willing vessel. But at the same time, there's people, like I say, they cross a line after a while. And I'm going to read you shortly there, Debbie. I see you on there. they cross the line after a while, and there really is no point of return anymore. And I'm going to give you an example. It's like if we're looking at stuff on Facebook, let's say, for example, or in the news, and we see a family, just recently we saw a family that molested their own children, or a family that tried to sell their kids on Craigslist, or this crazy stuff. There's like really no mercy for something like that. And I'm not saying that God doesn't give mercy for that, but we know better right off the bat that there's a crossing of a line that's beyond the moral compass. Okay, where we're not sitting here going, you know, like when I'm putting this stuff out there and I'm exposing porn and I got somebody attacking me going, you're not caring about these women. And I'm going, no, not at all, because I'm the first person to lay my life down for anybody. So don't even say that. And this person, you know, that's attacking me with regards to that didn't hear me out fully, doesn't know my heart, doesn't hear what I'm saying. I'm pointing out this whole entire Maxim models with the Pornhub and the child trafficking. It's all tied together. I'm not going to sit there and coddle that. I'm going to expose that right out. And if you don't like it, too bad. And if you were a woman that wrapped your legs around a pole and you danced for all these men, and then you did all this stuff for these men, or you were in pornography, or you were a man that's a part of this kind of thing, hey, listen, I'm very much against it. And I'm going to stand on my merits on that. And it's all tied to child trafficking, and it's all tied to perversion, and it's something that needs desperate repentance. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But if you were forced into it and you were trafficked, I'm going to be there for you to do anything I can to help you heal and save your life. So, you know, we have to have proper discernment. We have to know the difference between wrong is wrong and right is right. And even though the world says right is wrong and wrong is right, Fran doesn't, God doesn't, and many of you out there don't. We don't agree that right is wrong and wrong is right. We agree that right is right and wrong is wrong, and it will always be so. And so we must draw the line. We must draw the line, and we must be able to decipher, and we must be able to articulate to our children in this very tough world, when many of us have been up against such mountains. I know I have. You know, so we have to be able to speak properly, and people should know our hearts, and if they don't, that's on them. Debbie said, nail, hammer, head, evil hides nowhere when truth reveals. You got it, Debbie. And so that's my point. And I know that like-minded believers are going to know the spirit that's within us. Okay? Now, here's something you guys are going to find interesting. When you're vibrating at a very high frequency, do you guys understand what I mean? So these people are going to be drawn to you, and they're going to want to suck the life right out of you. And you need to be very cautious, and you need to, Bible says that we need to guard our hearts, ask God himself to guard our hearts, and be wise and be careful who we let in our circle. And I'm preaching to myself when I say that one, because especially if we love people and we advocate for people, we're going to be doormats many times. We're going to give all we have for people, and they're going to wipe their feet on you. They're going to wipe their feet on you. Many times I've handed out things to people because I know that the Bible says it's better to give than receive. And I'm learning that I have to be cautious even in my giving, because I'm not always giving, even though I'm giving with good, pure heart and a pure motive, I'm not giving to the right people. So instead of a family needing money for food for their kids, and then they take that money and they go buy drugs, I have to be more careful, right? And maybe I'll go buy them groceries instead. Something like that, okay? We have to be wise in our giving, and it's sad in many ways. It's sad in so many ways. And I've often joked, and it's really not funny, that I should have handed out knives with my giving. So what I've learned with the narcissist, because that's what this is about, the covert narcissist is really subtle and hidden. And again, my heart bleeds for these people, because I would love to see them just repent and know what the freedom feels like to be able to go to bed at night and know you're not guilty for something, instead of projecting it onto other people, accepting what you've done wrong and letting God heal you and be free. Because again, who the Son sets free is free indeed. And you can sleep peacefully at night knowing that you didn't harm another person. I don't know how people live with themselves and do some of the things that they do. I know I couldn't. I know I've been attacked so viciously by a group of narcissists. Basically, that's what it's come to. And I'm very open, I'm very public, and I'm very candid about my life. And I'm not giving names here. I see my sister on. God bless you. I'm gonna say hi to you. I don't know how it's gonna let me give you a wave there. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to talk about this because that's what I've learned that they do. So they go to the weakest links. And somehow it's almost like they brainwash them or hypnotize them into believe that you're this evil person. And that's very sad. So my heart goes out to any of you that have had to deal with a narcissist or a covert narcissist, especially if you've fallen in love with a narcissist. It's a very difficult place to be, okay? Because if you're anything like I am, woman or man out there, we believe in faithfulness and long-term, life, with a person. So it's very difficult when you have a very strong moral compass and a person treats you like this. It is an awful way to be treated. It is a hurtful and painful way to be treated, and you know better and you're knower. And so when you're strong, like myself, even though we hurt, you realize, you say to yourself, there's no possible way this person thinks these things of you. They've known you for a year, they've known you for 5 years, they've known you for 10 years. How could they possibly think that you're anything like the accusations they're making? And then you're looking at, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir in many of you, because I've gotten so many messages. You're looking at these screenshots and you're going, this man is saying, I would never do this to you, as he's doing exactly what he's blaming you for and doing about very personal issues of your life. Another thing that narcissists will do that we all know about, we all understand this when people talk about alienation, and you know that I've described the word alienation. In some instances, abusers will use the word alienation when in reality it's protection of your children, okay? And then a crazy judge will take the child from the protective parent and alienate the protective parent and give it to the abuser. So we know that that's a clear, concise description of what that really is. And then there's genuine alienation, where you have the psychopath with the mental disorder that alienates the person. It's like the discarding that a narcissist will do because they want something from you. So a way that they can control you is through the children that you love so much, right? Or the child, or what have you. And so again, there's that, listen carefully, there's that mirroring. It looks the same as the good person, it looks the same as the bad person, and you've got to discern. And your faith is where you have to discern with. You got to stick close to Jesus, in my opinion, but in your faith, you got to stick close, and you have to have that discernment. You have to have that discernment. So let's see if anybody else wrote me here. Lisa, I think you're the best. So I truly wanted to come out and talk about this. Oh, so another thing that narcissists do, and it could be blood relation narcissist or what have you, non-blood relation narcissists, they will use their children. They'll use their children in their battles. It is sick, and again, it's another projection issue. Like this particular narcissist has said that I've talked in front of my son on lives, and you can go to any of my lives. My lives are public. And I've talked to so many people, like, have you ever seen that? They're like, never. As a matter of fact, I can see that you're completely responsible in that area, and you haven't done any such thing. And so, but then you find out that that person is doing that very thing. So again, it's that projection thing. And they get so angry with you, like, you did that. And you're going, I did? Okay, well, if I did that, I'm sorry, because I wouldn't want to do something like that. But no, the I'm sorry part from coming from you. A narcissist doesn't care about that, because they're so full of rage and anger in many cases. They're so full of their control. They're so full of what they want, the narcissistic personality disorder, that they're not looking for you. They're not looking to like literally have a heart-to-heart with you and a meeting of the minds and a true intimate relationship. They're not capable of that. Somehow their love meter got kicked off somewhere, and generally it's from childhood abuse that went unhealed, because you could have childhood abuse, be healed, and move on. Okay, and you could have the old broken record that plays over and over again that you project onto any new relationship you get involved in. And eventually you are going to destroy that relationship because you can't hold on to it, because you can't hold on to it, not the other person. You are not capable of holding on to it, not the other person. Okay? And there's all kinds of help out there for people to make things work, but they choose not to. And then they reframe it into something that it's not. And they try to make themselves look like what they're doing is, what's the word? They try to make it look like what they're doing is something that's, there's a word for that. Not loyal, but like you're doing something good, like they're trying to make it look like what they're doing is something to be looked up to be honorable. And it's not. But it's just a part of their image, and they're so used to having an image. So I hope this is helping somebody today. Heidi said they shroud alienation in concern. We just want the other parent to have time to heal. That's another trick too. Sorry, I'm getting kicked off. Val said they will transfer their ways onto the children. Yes, that's what I just said. And it traumatizes them. They mimic to survive. Oh, it's hard to heal a traumatized child. Takes so much patience and faith. Yes, you are so absolutely right. What I've noticed is that it causes children to become bipolar. It causes children to have no sense of stability emotionally. So what happens to children when the parents use them in this manner, okay? And it's a tough surgery, because you got to remember, and some of you already understand this, when you're dealing with, and in my situation, I got to say, things have been working really good lately. So I'm not going there, although my book is a really good way to start to see where this basis came from, to learn more about who I am and what I do and so on. But we're having some encouraging moments. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. In my case, and so I do believe in future healing, okay? But okay, so let me go back to this. So to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, with the emotions of a child and what they do, and it's difficult when you're in actual, like, a relationship that the courts are forcing the child into unsafe situations, which we deal with all the time, okay? And how to do that upward climb. And then you of course, if you're single and you're meeting somebody, you want that man to be a healthy, strong man, or a healthy, strong woman, to be a support system in your life and the lives of your children, which is a good blessing for the future. And the most normal, healthy ones will understand and be able to embrace the child or the children and be able to bring forth further healing, hands-on physical healing, like God created us to have. That strength, which actually would bring the children quicker healing, okay? But in cases where you don't have that, children, what will happen to children is they're going to have serious highs and serious lows. They're going to have emotional outbursts. They're going to have, and again, remember, so if they're forced into abuse or they're trying to please a parent that's abusive, this can mimic that same kind of behavior in a lot of ways, but not the bipolar part, because that's a deep psychological issue, and it's one of the borderline personality disorders. So it's one of the borderline personality disorder types, okay? And again, like I said, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. This is my own research. This is my own hands-on, and this is my own firsthand experience, and I'm giving you guys. So, take it as you want. As far as I'm concerned, Jesus didn't have any degrees, and he's the smartest man on earth, right? So, hey, take it how you want to take what I'm giving you, this information. But let's face it, we get our best information. Like, any day I'll take a holistic practitioner over a medical doctor. You know what I'm saying? So, get your information where you're going to get the healing faster and where you're going to get truth. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So I'm just saying, like, this is what happens to children. And then the surroundings, like, let's talk about an addictive home. And I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings today. So please, again, I'm here to help anybody that's going to admit to a problem. Acceptance is first, and willing. I'm there. If you're a liar, a deceiver, pretending that it's not happening, pretending that you got it all perfect when you do not, how can I help you? How can anybody help you? How can God help you? So, but what I'm saying is, like, an addictive home with the children, it's very sad to watch that hub. And you guys could study the hub, the whole addiction process. And I'm going to read, I see you guys writing in. And if you missed this from the beginning, go back and watch. I'm not going to keep this very long, so it'll be a short video. I try to keep them short, and then I will premiere this off of the YouTube channel. Please, guys, like, subscribe, and hit that bell on YouTube, because I really want to get the numbers up on YouTube. I really would like to do more YouTube than Facebook as an initial, but I have so many followers here that I don't want to leave you guys out. So, and it's always better to catch me when I'm live here on Facebook. So that's why I've had that little kind of toss up with myself of which way to go. So I premiere them off of YouTube. But here, let's read. But let me talk about the hub of addiction in a family home. So when children see the abuse cycles with addictions and so on, it doesn't have to be a physical assault and physical things. There's outbursts of anger. There's mixed confusion and thinking that's not normal. Children are getting very mixed messages. So in order to keep calmness and peace in the home, they coddle the behavior. And that's the same thing that happens with many adults, coddling behavior that shouldn't be coddled. And so this is why we do these lives, because it's just general. And it's not targeting anybody specifically. And I'm giving personal stuff as well, but it's in protection for other people. How we learn and how we can hopefully have a better future with people. And like I said, forgiveness goes a long way. Repentance goes a long way. Reconciliation goes a long way. But ego and pride, it's not good, because the Bible says that pride comes before a fall. So if we're supposed to be Christians, we need to acknowledge and do the right thing. It's very simple. But these people don't even know what the right thing is. So let's go down and read a little bit, because I'm gonna be cutting this off pretty soon here. Biologically incapable of compromise. It's perceived as weakness. Mara said, a narcissist believes their lies are the truth and nothing you say or do can get them to believe otherwise. I can assure you of that. It's the saddest thing. You could show them accurate, detailed evidence and they will still deny it. But the only kind of people that they form around them are very similar people to themselves. They don't keep long-term friendships or relationships of any kind. They'll say they have best friends, but those friends are gone. Like in a year, 6 months, maybe a couple years, they're gone. They're not long-term, like literally long-term, unless they're at a big distance, because there's that commitment phobia. So their relationships are not genuine relationships. And genuine relationships get into the gutter with people and fight through the gutter as well as the mountaintop. Does that make sense, guys? So narcissists can't have those types of relationships. They cannot, okay? And sadly, a lot of times narcissists have a lot of other issues that you know, go with it. And it's all about you know, healing. Healing is the whole thing. It's a pride issue. Not getting counseling, not getting healing is a pride issue. It's braver to go get healing than it is to hide from healing. So it's a coward kind of issue too. It's a coward kind of issue too. Guys, I hope this helped you today. I have very, very limited time right now. But I love you all. God bless each and every one of you. Share this like crazy, and it'll premiere off YouTube later this evening. I will be doing more on this topic, and I am writing a book, I Survived a Narcissist. You can too. It should be out, hopefully, if all goes well. Once I get this finished writing, I'm going back to my same wonderful publicist, and that would be Keith Leon Publishing, and I hope to have that out in a year if all goes well. That's my hope. Okay, and I hope to have a lot of solutions in this book, though. It's going to be another candid approach to it, but I want to see healing. Like, that's my goal. I want to see healing. I want to see healed adults. One of the things that breaks my heart as an advocate is seeing families that cannot, you know, sometimes you know, we do have step families and so on and so forth, and they cannot have healthy relationships, and it just makes me really sad on a personal level. It makes me sad for others. It makes me sad to see people destroy themselves. I've just dealt with a woman, like, all she did was just destroy herself constantly, pass out, sleep around the clock, and, you know, smoke pot 24 hours a day, and just no future in that. Sorry, guys. Love you. Have a blessed evening.